it. That's how you do it. Shook off a couple. He's still going. Butler over in the corner. That's the line. Over the line he rolls. Burnside. Brighton. Old collegians have turned it over. Oh, he's got it again. He's got to go. Sprite will do very well. Sprite will go in. Port Adelaide will push out. And they will push on to
Or just out.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and we have reached the pinnacle of the 2019 Cooper's Premier Grade season. My name, as always, is Dave Webb. We've got some time to reset between this one. The women and the men, literally the women have taken one step off, and then we're off and running. My name, as always, is Dave Webb. I'm joined by Tom Hankey and Steph Redmond. First time that we've done this, and we've had one from each.
It is.
Because normally you're either very, very happy or my co-commentator goes very quiet, so at least I have the best of both worlds today. Go to you first and foremost, Steph. Brighton with the week off, how's it been?
It's been a big week. A solid hit out on Tuesday. A couple of the boys were still ginger from still with the week off, but 2 good sessions and then a captain's run last night. So solid build-up, good preparation. And I don't think there's too many worries for them out there as far as injuries go today.
And Tom, it's a little bit different. Massive battle last week at Dry Creek that we saw. Big Al, Isaac Allen-Henson, failed the concussion test.
Yeah, huge loss actually, Allen-Henson, having him out, and himself as well as Kieran Sandbrook not 100%. He's on the bench, so Benji comes in for the injured Henson. And we've got Fraser Green coming on, preferred to Tony Barker. So that is a big loss, because for me, I think that Allen-Henson's been probably up there with being one of the best centres in the league this year. And he just really unlucky. I felt for the bloke. Had to give him a cuddle on Thursday after he'd had the news that he'd be out, because for a young lad to miss a game of this magnitude, it's quite a tough pill to swallow.
And Brighton, no injury news from Brighton, because they're a very closed shop generally through the week.
Yeah, no, there's been no late changes, no injury concerns, or big injury concerns that probably going to hold anybody up for the week. So I think everyone's fighting fit and ready. It's grand final rugby, so most blokes on both sides have dragged themselves with a leg missing, I reckon, to get out there.
It's grand final weather as well.
It is hot.
It's saying 27 degrees by my notes at the moment, which is about as hot as it gets as far as grand finals go. I don't think we've had one around there. As Brighton will find their way out. Led out by Nathan Sutala. Be interesting to see what number he's got on his back today. He generally likes to chop and change, depending on how he's feeling. Number 6 today. So Brighton have been here on numerous occasions. Burnside have been here. It's interesting we say third time's a charm, but really there was a year where it was Brighton and Old Coals, but there's a couple before that with Burnside as well. Perpetually the bridesmaid at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think silverware is obviously the currency for success between the teams here, and Brighton have had their fair share of riches over the last, well, I mean, it spans back a long time, doesn't it, in all fairness, but Burnside without one for 20 years, and yep, hoping that third time's a charm here.
So with it being grand final day, we have all the pomp and circumstance, and now we will stand. I think we are... So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem The stand that we are in, the Ken Grayling stand, is pretty much full. It holds 300 people when it's comfortable like this, but there is a sea of blue away to our right. It looks like Brighton have taken up the far bottom corner, the far southern corner. Stretch around to the 22. There's a lot of black and yellow over there. We talked about it. We've thought about it. It's all done for now as 2019 hopefully comes to a thrilling conclusion. And we are underway.
Nathan Satala kicking off deep down to the 22.
So Blair Marshall will try and get out. He is met hard around the 22, and Burnside will have the first bite at it. Devlin rolls through, out the back. Ball goes to boot. And find the very dangerous Joe Sateki.
Breaks the first tackle, caught up in the second.
Very well, but finally they get him to ground. Caron to Gerd. Gerd straightens and is stopped. Caron again. Out to Satala. Manages to get away. Walton, who we thought was done for all money, is back and going. Out to Pitter. Pitter looked to draw and give. Looks like he's caught a high one.
Not called though.
Nothing doing. Cook out the back. Now they're away again. Brown, flat ball. Gerd has Joe Sateki outside him. Doesn't want him. Just goes back inside.
Back to Clark Skelton, who's made good 10 metres up over the 22. Taking the ground. Ball's available again for Hector Caron.
Brown.
Out to Andrew Brown.
Now Brighton starting to look a little bit more dangerous. Robbie Ferguson trying to get chalk on his boots. There is room out here. They're going to knock on the door again. Cook will find its way back. Phillips has it up. Slow ball for Brighton. Gerd will go. Can't get any further than the 5. Logan Brown at the back now. Little bit of a show and go. Tried to get his hands free. Pushed back again. Another little pick and drive.
Ryan Murphy taking the ball, making another metre closer. Ball's available again.
Still now within the 5. And it's just a battle of attrition now. Caron hangs on. Then it will go out, misses everyone. Butler picks it up, then it will end up in the hands of Burnside, but we're coming back for a penalty. After that amount of pressure, there was always going to be something.
Pitter coming in with the ball. You have to watch him, he'll go quickly.
He is going quickly. Pitter
runs into a solid Burnside defence.
It is a blue wall at the moment. Caron again. Has to run around the outside. Quick hands from Cook to Brown. Brown. Then it will find its way out. Burnside again. Backs against the wall, rugby for them. Caron. Brown again. Brown to his brother Brown. Brown will offload to Phillips. Phillips is over the line. Just short. Caron has to go and dig for it. There's numbers everywhere, but it's held up over the line by a Brighton 5-metre scrum.
Relentless pressure from Brighton. Lots of pick and goes. One-off shifts. Burnside defence has been there solidly though.
Well, I thought Jaden Phillips was going to start us off with a try like he did last week.
Yeah, I thought he was over the line there actually initially, just looking at it from this angle, but yeah, you're absolutely right in what you're saying. Just really backs to the wall stuff from Burnside's perspective. Brighton have been really on the forefront so far, but yeah, it's been pretty well closed out from Burnside, but they just need to get their hands on this ball.
So Brighton will have head and feed.
Reset the scrum.
Yeah, it's just
first scrum nerves, I would have thought. Yeah. Can't complain about the underfoot though.
I am interested to see Chris Walton out there, Tom. I thought he was definitely done.
Yeah, look, I think people find the extra yard, don't they, and the extra couple of percent when it comes to finals time. And yeah, he's had a bit of just lighter training sessions within the last couple of days or so. but you know, anyone would do anything to try and play.
Now they're away. Caron, short ball to Pitter, and again there is a double blue wall. But Brighton again just looking to batter it down. Skelton. Caron again is going to direct traffic. Part of that traffic is Murphy.
Supported
Driven
by
back again.
On the 5.
Logan Brown again will roll around the first one. Not quite there. Ball pops out the back. Phillips again. He's going to get over the line again.
No, a metre short still. Ball's available.
Still short. Skelton at the back, and then they will go over the line. Can he get it down? No. No, Reese gets the first points of the 2019 Grand Final.
Just timing and anticipation. Jake Devlin shot through, left a little bit of a hole, and Reese Gerd taking his opportunity.
Yeah, just I would be interested to know how many phases that's been. I think as well the players coming around and wrapping around just got the attention.
Yeah, it did a little bit by the looks of things, and I think there were a couple of players who were really looking into the closer unit breakdown area.
Well,
and
you just see them go now, and it just pulls the defenders away.
Yeah, exactly.
Stretches them.
And there's just a bit of a gap there between the ruck and the breakdown area and the first man or the post, whatever you want to call it. But not the start that Burnside would have been looking for by any stretch. But you've got to commend and take the hat off to Brighton. They are relentless when it comes to that 22-metre area, and they've got a really good start with 6 minutes of the game, 5-0 up.
So Caron will try and turn it into 7 points. Standing foot slipped, and that's probably why it's not the prettiest in the world, but they all count.
2 points is 2 points. Definitely wasn't one of his most stylish looking kicks, but converted.
I think it's Blair Marshall gets pulled away
when Andrew Brown went across.
Yeah, as they all flood across. I don't think it is Blair Marshall. Like Zach Ellis, I think maybe just got pulled away. Good high hanging restart from Rahali.
Oh. Be a little knock on there by Brighton, I think.
It's going to be a Burnside advantage, so it'll be a Burnside scrum. And to be honest, Tom, we're 7 minutes into this one, and this is going to be their first chance to have ball in hand. Yeah,
exactly that. So Brighton very quickly just asserting themselves in the game early doors, haven't they? We've not seen Burnside with ball in hand just yet, apart from the earlier exchanges. Yeah, Brighton have just kept up that really a real solid level of possession. So just seeing and being interested to see what Burnside can build from this set piece.
Good solid platform from both scrums.
Rahali carries to the line, and then we'll find Meredith.
Ball available.
Yeah, it's coming away. Lamsam, as usual, sniping around the corner. Devlin. Lamsam again holds, and late ball to Walton. Now Lamsam has got some space. Gets into the 22, dragged down by Satala. Now they're away, out the back. Keep trying to batter down, and now it's Burnside's turn. Nice inside ball from Devlin. Lamsam again just trying to sneak through the middle of the ruck. Counter ruck does well from Brighton. Messy, but it's there. Then they will go over the top to Jep. Jep comes back to the safety of numbers. Marshall round the outside. Satala comes across and makes a challenge. Arm comes out. We're all over the top of it. Side entry.
Yeah, a little bit more control from Burnside there, just starting to it's almost a case of you go, we'll go. So just then looking at them establishing the game upon themselves. A good carry there from Blair, and they've opted for a scrum.
Gone for the scrum. different kind of options. So the game we just saw, Woodville just trying to stay in touch, so kept kicking penalties. I don't think that's going to be the case with Burnside. They need to get going. So they have loaded, well, everybody to this side. Fraser Green has come across. He's going to stand behind Rahali. All the backs are here. Be confident that you're going to win your own ball at that point.
You'd want,
because you've left Joseph Teki with all sorts of space over there. But he, again, oh no, Fraser Green's going back now. So we will reset the scrum. In the shadow of the posts.
tight head ball.
There we go, and Andrew Brown will pick it up. And they have a penalty advantage. Kick, Green will lose it. Joseph Teki is away and inside. Can't quite get away from Meredith. Butler steps in and out. Then we'll get it to Pitter. He tries to find somewhere inside.
Still fighting, maintaining his feet, finally tackled.
Counter ruck comes, but they're away. Cook. Big collision in midfield. Finally gets the ground. Caron.
Plummet.
Now they're away. Brown. Satala. Joseph Teki is away. One to beat. Puts the ball on the boot. Now it's a foot race. Jordan gets across. Now he's trying to run away. There is nothing but black and yellow shirts in front of him. Does well enough. Out the back to Rahali, and Rahali puts it on the boot. Can't find touch though. Pitter looks to counter-attack.
Some atmosphere here at Bailey Reserve, isn't it?
Gets away, Gerd. Gerd with a little goose step to try and get around the outside. Offloads inside. It's gone forward. And we can all take a breath. So
there's some bodies down on knees.
Oh wow.
The pace of this is just grueling, as well as trying to cope with the heat.
It's not what we would call rugby.
It's not rugby weather, put it that way.
It's it just, all bets were off for about 5 minutes.
I think both sides are just ball to the wind and playing with what's in front of them. They're taking opportunities and creating them just with a half gap or a bit of a slip and an arm tackle, and putting others into holes, and it's working for both sides.
So Burnside will put the ball into the scrum, and Hodgson to go and get it. Rahali drops it back inside to Balcombe.
Held up in the tackle.
Manages to shake away, and it's Lamsam, I think, who's got away with it. Hands were on from Brighton. He's let it go. The ball's at the back. Marshall takes it standing. Walton, Rahali. Now they're away. Devlin. Walton again in midfield. Puts his head down and goes. Lamsam. He will take on Cook and Brown. Burnside options left and right. They choose that way. Rahali puts the ball to boot. It hits grass, bounces away. Will be a Brighton lineup on the 22.
A couple of interesting bits of play from Burnside there, and I think they just want to try and get that ball moving as much as they can. We've seen Walton, we've seen Devlin, we've seen Hodgson, all and Lamsam all playing the role of scrum half at some time. Just, I think the message is quite clear from that. As soon as it becomes available, let's get rid of it as much as we can and keep Brighton on the back foot.
It is gloves off chaos rugby at the moment. Butler with the show inside. Now they got a 2-on-1. One of them is Joseph Teki. Can he get away? Fraser Green comes across, and that one's gone forward. Turned over again. Jet spins around onto the inside. Gets going forward. Not good news for Brighton as Joseph Teke's lying prone.
What a cover tackle from Fraser Green that was, wowee.
And then, again, we talked about it, that's the important one. He's not gone over the shoulder, I don't think. But the little show inside from Butler, and away they went. And 9 times out of 10, that would be all she wrote. Oh, I
think he's just clipped a knee on the way down.
Yeah, he just caught Golden Jet as he went through. It was a nasty looking collision. He's up though.
I think it's a good opportunity for both teams to take a bit of a breather, and everyone else in this stand as well, because it has been quite a relentless pace, isn't it, this game so far?
I tell you what, it's been a while since I've been at a rugby game when then we had like 3 to 5 minutes of play, and then there was just a round of applause from everybody.
I think the whole of the crowd just didn't really know what to do. I think it was just an applause was a breath, wasn't it? We've got to that time where it's just like, oh, I don't know.
If someone performs for that amount of time, I just have to. It's natural.
Don't see it a lot in South Australia rugby, with respect to you, in all fairness.
No, the crowd today there's been hardly any chat so far.
Yep.
It's been a spectacle of rugby so far.
So it will be a Brighton scrum again. Sorry, Burnside scrum. Too many B's. Marshall.
Satala over the top.
He's going to come back their way though. And they're back to Rahali again. He's just going to try and turn them around. Does turn Smith around. He's inside the 22. He's all on his own. How's the chase from Burnside? Out to Ferguson. Ferguson barrels his way forward. Gets them over the 10. Logan Brown.
Five short of the halfway. Ball sitting there available.
Caron again. Skelton. Plummer. Cook. Flat ball. Too flat. Joseph Teke couldn't get anywhere near that one. And it's going to be a Burnside lineup. Just all feels a bit disjointed at the moment from a Brighton point of view. It's not. We certainly saw them when they went down for their try, just how regimented they were. This all seems a little bit chaotic at the moment.
Might not have been straight, but
doesn't matter because Gern is going to go.
Makes a good
beats
30
the first
metres.
couple. Can't get away from the others. Caron again. Wanted too much time, and Fraser Green shut the door. Andrew Brown.
Fights into the tackle.
Caron again to Plummer. Out the back to Butler. Butler to Pitter. Pitter trying to find a way through. That one goes forward.
Bounced out on the tackle. Unlucky.
It's just been that last pass, that last minute, that last thing. Well,
might be sweaty hands on the ball, I think.
Yeah.
It's generally a wet ball, but now it's wet hands. And the ball has slipped a couple of times on both sides, but I think Brighton 50-50 passes at the end, I think is what's costing them at the minute.
Chaotic rugby at the moment.
Frantic pace.
So another Burnside scrum outside the 22. So, and look, for Harrison Rahali at this point, he can't kick to touch. He's got Robbie Ferguson covering one. He's got Smith in the middle, and Joseph Teke is the other back three.
Centre crash.
It just removes those kick options.
Especially when you've got 3 dynamic players with ball on hand at the back.
Rahali. Flat ball.
Centre crash.
Yeah, in the middle. You should coach.
I should, or call a game, eh?
Devlin on the long run. Jeez, there's no quarter asked or given at the moment, is there?
No, not at all.
Hodgson. Ellis.
Well, there's
offloads to Marshall.
No next week, is there?
It's popped out, and Plummer puts the ball to boot.
Turns him round.
Fraser Green has to go and get it. Calls the mark.
Only option
and
there.
Again, just this spontaneous applause. Green will just send it away and gives it a fair all right. But it will be the Brighton lineup.
Well, I know we've got people streaming the game from England, Scotland, New Zealand, and also all over Australia as well. So I think so far the entertainment value has definitely been there.
Been a great
Plummer.
game.
Flat ball to Peter Smith is coming on the long run. Left it behind now. Ferguson has to tidy it up, does tidy it up. Because that ball was bobbling around and Balcom was sniffing, and he does like an intercept.
yeah, we've seen a couple of them from him over the last couple of weeks, haven't we? I think we're probably looking at our first change from Burnside's perspective now, as it looks like John Van Distel's about to come on.
That is a change, and you probably think that would be tactical for now.
I would say tactical at this stage of the game.
But we are stopping for another injury. Is that Blair Marshall? No, I can see Blair Marshall. It's Zach Ellis.
Yeah, Zach looks like he's down on the other side of the pitch there, just getting seen to by the physiotherapist. And obviously the guys both teams getting opportunities to get water on the board as much as they can now at this stage, because it is very, very hot out there.
It is warm. Are in the sun. This grandstand is now full. People sat on the front.
The club tents are chockers on the opposite side.
Mad Dogs Englishmen and Brighton fans.
Braving the sun.
Braving the sun.
So scrum setting 10-metre line.
Burnside put in again, and I think the scrum numbers are certainly in Burnside favour so far. Was never going to stand up this side. No. Even I knew that.
Well, when you drop a bind, it generally goes down.
Who are you saying dropped the bind, Jaden or the Burnside one?
Burnside dropped the bind first. Saw the hand go to the ground.
Well, we got two front rowers over here. I'll just leave them to it. They can fight about it.
No, we won't fight. It's not in front rowers mentality, mate. We'll just have a beer and a pie. I think we'll be okay.
We'll just leave it to them because we're up here for a change.
20 minutes gone on the Wojtek scoreboard. 7 points to 0 to Brighton.
It's a solid platform from both sides either way.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? There's a lot of parity there, isn't there?
There is. Both sides well drilled in their set pieces.
Into midfield. He'll show it, then it'll find its way to Balcom. He can't quite step inside. At the back to Marshall. Marshall will straighten.
Solid tackle by Cook and Gerd. Ball available at the back.
Rahali again. Has to put the ball to boot. Again he finds Green. This time the ball will bounce away. It will be a Brighton line-out in front of the amassed Brighton fans.
It was a nice little kick through there. It was good space. Joe was up a bit flat, and
but you're going to have to be absolutely perfect. Harrison Rahali has to be absolutely inch perfect today, because the back three of Brighton can cause you problems.
Yeah, dangerous back three, aren't they? Oh. Very dangerous.
Picked for a high tackle there.
Yeah, just caught him over the top.
Nothing in it.
He kind of slipped, struck, ducked into it as well, Jermaine Butler.
Satala looking for the sideline.
Not a bad option for everybody, I think. Just get it away.
Pushes it up towards halfway.
Into the special seats over there at halfway.
To the corporate area.
The corporate area.
I was there last week for the NRC, so I can't make any comment about that.
So was I.
I mean,
how good was it?
You didn't need to tell everyone, did you?
It was a good day.
Buffet was to die for.
Wasn't it? It was a great spread.
Brighton will go to the back, and then we'll look to drive it away.
Good counter by Burnside.
Yeah, just managing to get it to go sideways.
First call taken.
Caron's going to look to try and get it out now. They have crossed halfway. It's gone to ground. They need to get it out.
Quick ball.
He doesn't have to move, Hector. That's going to be a Burnside ball. Oh, penalty. Oh.
Side entry.
Not sure what happened there, but I saw three.
That's Zach Ellis down again, I think.
I saw three Brighton players just come out of the other side of the ruck, and then I see Zach Ellis down, and that's. Oh, hang on, is that Zach? No, that's Blair.
Is that one Blair?
This time.
They do look similar.
They do.
Just in terms of stature, I think, more than anything else. Both really ugly blokes.
Oh. Says the Picasso over here.
Never call a front row Picasso, mate.
No, I still reckon I can outrun him. That's the only thing. Once I'm slower than him, I'll be nicer.
Oh, Dave, you'll do a hammy on the first step. So Brighton penalty, just in Burnside territory.
They can, if they. Oh no, he's gone the old banana. So you never get as much distance as you think with them.
Every kick of mine's a banana.
And no real choice.
So line out again, full line. Gone long to
This time
Murphy.
they come off the top. Caron will find Plummer. Plummer out to Pitter. Ferguson in lots and lots of room.
Good pick
Ferguson
up,
is now one-on-one with Meredith. Tackle comes across from Jet. Meredith gets hands on and gets it away.
It's a lovely steal.
Well done, Shawnee Meredith. Now he's got to try and find his feet for his support to come here. Interesting entry angle, but it's all okay so far. And Rahali will sit back in the pocket, but they don't want it. Marshall's going to go.
Just looking to advance a few metres to get it settled. Give himself a better option.
Penalty.
Oh, over the ball.
Not release it.
Ryan Murphy over the tackle player. Ball available.
So what do they do? Do they take the extras and go?
We're taking a shot.
Yeah,
Look
there
at
you
that.
go.
Finals rugby, you've got to take the points available, especially from there.
Yeah, sensible call, I think, to take the points.
Gives everybody a chance to sort of take a breath and grab a couple of moments to refocus. It's been frantic pace for the entire first half so far.
So Caron will look to add on 3 points. Oh, 26 minutes gone on the Wojtek scoreboard. Caron will push them out to a double-digit lead.
10-0. Brighton over Burnside. 26 minutes gone.
Interesting seeing Plummer not take that kick actually there, Steph. I know he spends a lot of time practicing on the sideline.
It's been Caron for the last couple of games that we've seen, and Caron seems to have taken over.
The amount of time that both of them spend out on the field, there's an arc in front of both sets of posts where they dot themselves across the field for an hour each after trainings. Logan Brown taking it.
Yeah, just
about
about 9.9 metre kick.
Blair Marshall just waiting for it to go that 10, and Logan Brown thought, I'll have that, thank you.
Penalty, holding on. So a little bit of tit for tat. And Rahali will probably push them down into the corner. So we approach the half-hour mark, and Burnside find themselves 10 points behind.
20 metres out.
But it doesn't feel like the last couple of years. Feels like they're in it. Even at this point over the last couple of years, you kind of felt a little bit wary for them. That one comes off the top and Gerd runs away with it, but they're coming back. Free kick, let's see whether it's single numbers. I don't know.
There's a long time in this game to go still, Dave, so...
there is, but my point is that even at this point over the last couple of years, you felt that Brighton were more in control and that Burnside didn't have an answer. Not feeling that this year.
Yeah, I feel the preparation's been a bit, from Burnside's perspective this year, is that I think they really tried to make a concerted effort to not change too much in what they were doing in the lead up to finals. Whereas in years gone by, I think, you know, there's been dinners and there's been all sorts of pomp that's gone on during the week and different change of focus, and I think that probably just makes it feel like a different game.
Rahali puts the ball to the boot. It's going to sit up in goal, and Josateki has to knock it out the back.
Coming back for a penalty. Does he? Be a 5 metre scrum. Taken dead.
Yeah. Will be a 5 metre. No, it's a penalty.
What's he signaling there?
For deliberately knocking it out of play?
I'm not too sure. I think
I think it's in the laws, but it's not one we see used very often. Rahale, flat ball, Walton, out to Green. Green will get over in the corner. Well, it's a talking point, and I'm sure somebody will tell us. I think it's in the laws somewhere. You can't intentionally knock the ball out of play.
And I think you're right, and that's why I've got to applaud the pressure there from, I think it was Sam Bolcombe or Matt Benger that came through to force Joe into that decision. But this is a really, really good, well-worked try from Burnside. So again, you're looking at just that miss, and it's just Hands that has done it at the end. Fraser Green's still got a lot of work to do. You wouldn't believe the comeback that he's made for today. Based on the injury that he had and picked up against, I think it was Onkers the other week. Sorry, against Collegians in the first batch of games. So he's had a really good game so far. So yeah, Burnside bringing themselves right back into this game.
So Meredith with a tough kick. There's 5 points of difference now. I'm going to try and drop it down to a penalty to be the difference, but about as hard as it gets. It's on its way.
Just across the face.
The Brighton fans told you before it got there.
Didn't even have to look at that one.
So it is 10 points to 5. 10 minutes to go in the first half. And we're going to see Kieran Brown enter the fray. Going to bounce in front of Marshall. He does enough, and then we'll just put his head down and go. Takes on Cook and Gerd. Now the back to Rahale, and again he's going to try and find Green, which he does, and he'll turn Smith around. There's a whistle though.
All players in front, offside.
It's offside from Brighton's point of view.
Yeah, I was going to say the hand's going in the other direction, so.
Interesting one, and so Rahale will get the chance to push Burnside into attacking territory. So Rahale does push them into the Brighton half. Kieran Brown will enter the fray. I can imagine it'll be one of the back rowers that will go. It's Jacob Devlin. A little bit messy, and it goes to ground again and again. Gerd is going to get it. Plummer, Butler, Pitter. Can't get away.
50-50 ball out the back from Pitter.
Got to shore that up a little bit from Burnside's perspective, because Gerd is sniffing around there for scraps, and it's probably the third time in this game that I've seen that where it's gone over. It looks as though it's in relative control from Burnside, but then it's a tap with one hand as opposed to just bringing up with two. And then Gerd sniffing.
Brighton doing the
favour was returned, and Satala has to tidy it up. Over halfway.
Back up to where the line out was.
Gerd again.
On the in run. Solid defence.
Caron again. Wants to slow it down a bit. Finds Andrew Brown. He'll step back inside. It's another couple of metres after contact. Caron. Plummer. Whoa! Flat ball. Floaty ball was in Balcombe territory. It's worked okay for Ferguson. Plummer long and loopy to Logan Brown. Logan Brown will step through, find Butler. Oh, Butler manages to get up and go again. No, the floaty one. Satala just sends it on. Joe Sateki couldn't quite bring it in, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because again, Fraser Green was in attendance.
Well, I think some Brighton hearts went in their mouths a little bit there when that ball came over and Balkan was sniffing around, because we've seen him in the last 2 weeks score some intercept tries, but wasn't quite to be. And then nearly the same happened the other end of the pitch with Fraser Green. But Brighton really changing the tempo around every now and then as much as they can, just to they're just very controlled, very measured in what they're doing, aren't they? They know the right times to slow it down and then when to speed it back up again.
I think they're reading it quite well. Although Burnside are up to the task of the defence, though, their first up tackles, well, they're hitting in numbers, and at the breakdown, they're managing the breakdown really well. They're forcing Brighton to have to man up with a double play, and it's sucking in like. The Burnside defence are regimented in it. There's 1 or 2 players there, which is making 2 Brighton players to force themselves to come in to protect that ball. So it's I don't think, as Dave was saying earlier, it's not a given for anybody at this stage. The score being at 10-5, we've got a game still on with 35 minutes gone in the first half. There's no real dominance by either side. Ball in hand, both teams are dangerous.
Yeah, and defensively so far to this point, both teams have been
correct.
Okay.
They have. Well, if a player has the ball, there's somebody on the opposition meeting them ball at the same time.
The Burnside scrum again. Lots and lots of field for them to play with. Rahali. Out the back to Meredith. Meredith will put the ball to boot. Smith has to go and get it as well. Calls the mark. Not a bad idea, which prevents the broken field.
Doesn't it? I think it's just slowing the game down a fraction as well, giving them time to reset. Taps and goes. Ooh. Straight into Meredith.
Oh. Meredith did well, and then Ferguson leaves it behind. Now that Hodgson's on the outside. Was knocked by Bullower, and it is a penalty.
Yeah.
Meredith wants it. Meredith goes. Smith isn't 10, I don't think, but Meredith has gone through anyway. Gets to the 5. And another one for hands in the rock. And that's 2 in very, very quick succession for Pitter.
I don't think it was offside that time.
No, it's hands in the rock, and then the first one was for knocked down.
No, the second penalty for this one was offside, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he'd come through the middle.
I think the advantage was already before that. And yeah, I think Pitter came through and the ball was available sitting out, so here we had every right to it, but the penalty was there.
He did everything so well initially.
It was a 50-50 ball off the ground from Smith. Probably didn't need to be passed.
Tap it, put it down, defend the lineup.
The Burnside crowd on their feet and stand.
So it will be a Burnside scrum. They moved Golden Jepp into midfield as well, but Robbie Ferguson happy to leave his wing unattended for now. Hodgson, Rahali into midfield, manages to get away. Hodgson again.
Same way.
Rahali, Marshall. Marshall tries to wriggle through, can't quite get there. 5 meters out. Messi, and we're coming back for another penalty, which I assume would be an offside.
Still no signal.
Penalty. Not sure what for, and they're going to take the scrum again. Well, Robbie Ferguson put in a huge amount of trust in Nathan Satala, because if they decide to go
that's probably
on the blind
what the penalty
side,
was. Early break from the scrum from Nathan Satala, maybe.
Well, I mean,
it's what he has to do.
Yeah.
He's got some work to do if Blair Marshall decides to pick and go from there.
Because again, they've taken Golden Jepp across. Robbie Ferguson has left his wing, so there is nobody there.
And it's still a 5 metre channel.
Yeah, it's a 5 metre channel. The scrum half's on the other side of the scrum. Blair Marshall is one-on-one with Nathan Satala if he chooses it.
Correct. Or Andrew Brown. Still not an inviting proposition for me.
Marshall does go, but goes open, steps away from Caron.
Pick and go. Well driven back.
Yeah, it is still in Burnside hands. Walton will have a look. Marshall will have a sniff. Slow ball. Out to Rahali. Balcom. Jab.
Oh, high tackle.
That is high. That's 3 in red zone as well. Balcom trying to find a way through. This time he's in. Inside the 5. Lamsam picks and goes. Meredith.
Drops it.
How's it?
Ball picked
Von
up.
Dissel.
I don't think the referee saw that there, did he?
No, I thought it looked like it was dropped back.
Rahali again. Decided against giving it. May have had it turned over.
No,
No,
ball's
it's still
sitting
there.
there.
Lamsam. Little show. Tries to burrow his way through. Denied by this black and gold wall. Meredith. Rahali! Burnside scored their second try of the game, and it's a try of attrition.
Well, that's just come from really hard work, hasn't it? It's as this crowd really starts to get a little bit more rambunctious, and you've seen it before a couple of times with Nigel Lamsam, where he just picks at most opportunities you don't expect. But really good work there from Sean Meredith to just allow the players to come out, the defending players, just slotting Harrison into a nice little gap that appeared there. But it was good, patient build-up play from Burnside, this game on.
Yeah, it was a lovely ball on that drag shift, wasn't it? And just the right line cutting back in to where the defender was.
So a very kickable kick as well. So we're 10 points apiece at the moment with the kick to come. We are in red time. Now we are lucky enough that I can look over the timekeeper's shoulder. There's 3.5 minutes to go in this one.
Makes the conversion.
Flags go up, so it's Brighton at 10, Burnside 12. With around 3 minutes to go in this first half, we are in red time. Brighton will restart. Burnside will want the half-time whistle to go now. They want to get in. Brighton.
Looks like we've got a substitution coming for Brighton. May get it in before half-time.
High hanging kick. That's a Falcon. It's right off his head. So it'll just be a Brighton lineup.
That'll be one for the highlight reel.
That's it's a new one. We've had a couple of firsts today. First ever red card in a women's game in South Australian rugby. That's Smith who's coming off. It's a really weird time to make a substitution. Can't see any tactical reason for doing it with 2.5 minutes to go in the half.
No, I think it's purely tactical.
Oh, and then it's
Tremaine
dropped.
Butler had a look.
Had half an eye on the oncoming player there, didn't he, Butler, I think?
Yeah, little look up and dump the ball. So midfield scrum.
Another Burnside midfield scrum. There's been so many of them. It's unusual handling errors from Brighton.
It is, I think there's just a lot of forced ball today for Brighton's part. They're, I think the nerves might be still out there. Still fighting through those. Second half, after they've had a quiet chat at half time from Richard Wasley, I think we might see a bit different.
Comes popping out the back, and Rahali will send it out to Meredith. Meredith again will put the ball on the boot. It's going to skip high and out of play around the 22.
Just looking at the two benches here, and you know, the Burnside guys seem to be very up and animated. Brighton bench looking pretty relaxed, just watching everything unfold, all very analytical.
Pensive is the look on the faces, though.
That's actually the best word to describe it. Yeah, pensive.
Jaden Phillips looks to 2, and Kira
Ball
Brown
goes
does enough to
over.
disrupt. Walton takes it, runs over Caron, finds his way. Again they're in the 22, again they're knocking on the door. Rahali Out to Bolcombe.
It's on.
Bolcombe sends it again. They've got numbers. Fraser Green will score.
Straight hands.
Burnside push away again. And
Hang
again,
on.
hang on.
Yeah, before we get too excited, it looks as though it's going to go to review.
Oh no, they've just gone to half time.
Oh.
So I have no idea. Let's see whether we can pick it up. Was this
Might
one?
have been a forward
The
pass.
only one I think is this one. This
Forward
last
pass.
one is forward.
Yep, forward pass. Pulls it back, half time.
Oh, I tell you
Well, we
what.
were all confused.
Yeah.
I think the players will find some shape.
Yeah, and we're going to take a very quick break. We'll be back with you for half number 2. So welcome back to Bailey Reserve, where Burnside lead this one by a conversion at the moment. They are 12 points to 10 in front against Brighton. I'm not going to ask you who you think is going to win because that's an absolutely pointless question. Steph, you've been involved with Brighton for years and years and years. The last couple of years you've come into this with Burnside probably expected to take the biscuits for the last couple of years. This is the first time that we've been doing it with Spacequake Sports that Brighton have gone into this as the favourites.
Yeah, I don't think you can actually have a favourite in finals. In finals, it's always who turns up on the day, and both sides, over the last couple of years have fought it hammer and tong throughout the season, minor premiers to the grand finals. Yeah, Brighton may have the edge this year, being coming into it as minor premiers this year. They've had the two rest weeks, and I think there's the expectation for them. But at the end of the day, Burnside always turn up to play rugby.
Yeah, and look, the last couple of weeks Burnside have been pushed and challenged, and you know they've been backs to the wall for the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
It's a nice momentum that they've had, and it's a different feeling to the one last year, Tom.
I think there's a couple of schools of thought, isn't there, on when you go into the grand final having played in the previous weeks rather than have the rest. And you know, in some cases you kind of look at it and go, well, look, you've got time to get bodies right, and there are definitely boys out there from Burnside's perspective that aren't 100% fit yet, but you also amass a level of intensity that perhaps the other team doesn't come into it with. So I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that I think certainly from the games last week, and certainly from lessons learned from Burnside when they played Collegians last week, they were very, very aggressive around the breakdown area. They were trying to slow things down. Realised for once this season, because I haven't seen an awful lot from them this season, that the power of getting those first hits. And I look back at last season's grand final and some of the first hit ups that they had against the likes of Pitter and a few others. Set the tone. It didn't happen, and then Brighton got on the front foot. This time around it seems to be a little bit different. There are still sloppy parts from both teams, but look, it's all to play for in this half.
I agree.
I think as well we've seen a shift in how teams defend against Brighton now. We've seen they will not allow Joseph to get any room whatsoever. As soon as he gets the ball, they're on him. They don't want him to have any room. The other thing as well is I think they're allowing Pitter to almost overplay himself.
They do. They show him a gate and let him have it, and then it shuts down behind him.
Yeah.
And I think Pitter's most dangerous when he's got a front-on play. When he doesn't look behind him, he just keeps forward, and it just keeps attacking. When the defence come from behind and shut him down, he doesn't have the offence for that. And I think with Joe, like you said, they can't give him any space because he creates it within a couple of mil from the sideline.
Well, the second he does get time and space, I think we'll see something special from him. He's still going. He did pick up a little bit of a knock in the first half.
I think he was just enjoying the sun.
So we are about ready to go with half number 2. Harrison Rahali will start us. We've all swapped around. Should mention as well, because I don't think we have, our officiating crew today. In the middle, Dave Gunning. Over on the far side is Tristan Clements, and on the near side is Peter Snoop Jackson. So Rahali starts them underway. High hanging kick again.
Clark Skeldon, supported by Jack Cook. Ball out the back to Joel Plummer. Floats a line.
That's going to bounce its way to Pitter. Pitter now is looking for a little bit of room inside. And he gets some room. Brown will finally get him down. A lot of effort for about 3 metres from Pitter. Now Andrew Brown is away, out the back. Jaden Phillips did very well. I don't know whether he did it on purpose, but it worked.
I think it was a bounce pass. He'll claim it.
It's well defended there though by Zach Ellis and Fraser Green between them, figuring a way to stop him.
Murphy
tackled on halfway.
Bang on halfway. There is hands on. Jeez, they've been allowed a long time at that.
Ball's got to be available. Logan Brown is a
Logan
halfback.
Brown plays halfback. Butler trying to find a way around the outside. Gets around the outside. And again, Brighton will build. Cook out to Pitter. Now they've got numbers out there to Ferguson. Ferguson comes back inside. Starts to make his way towards the 22. Kieran Brown again making a tackle. Caron to Logan Brown, who is stood up. Does well to roll away from it.
Into the 22. Quick ball out Plummer.
Butler steps one, then will try and dance his way through. Caught again, and it's just popped out.
Lost forward.
Yeah, so it's an advantage to Burnside. Scrum advantage Burnside.
Solid defence right on the 22. Ball available again. So 1 out run. Burnside making a yard at a time. Little chip over the top.
It's going to
Kicking
bounce
to
its
space.
way.
And
again,
it's going
to find itself to touch. So Brighton will have a defensive line out inside their own half. Can't take your eyes off this for a second.
No way.
Jaden Phillips will have to find his target.
Yeah,
he
nice
does.
ball into
Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown. Wide out to Satala.
Satala sitting in first five. It's a lazy one from Sambrook. Satala doesn't matter, he's away and running. Then we'll sit down Meredith. Finds his way to the 22.
Ball available. Plummer. Spinning it wide. Little chip in behind.
That's not a bad kick from Pitta, but we're going to come back. It's a long, long advantage if we cut out to knock on, because the advantage is gone and there's no card. Just a lazy one from Sambrook.
I don't think there was anything in that. It just slipped up.
I think once he realised as well, hadn't he, that he had the hand up a little bit too high, he tried to retract it straight away. But I'll tell you what, Satala, once he gets a full range of motion and he's in gear 5, he's a very, very tough man to take down.
Certainly is. Doesn't matter what number's on his back.
No.
It's a dangerous option, really, when you've got a game-reading fullback playing at number 6. You create yourself an extra back and an extra forward with the way he plays. So it's a good option. So Burnside scrum 5 outside from their 22.
I tell you what, if they don't give Nathan Satala the freedom of Brighton at some point in his life, I swear, give him the key to the city. Actually, probably
No, don't.
No.
Oh, that's probably it. No. Yeah.
So scrum slipping down. We'll reset it.
So just a reset.
I think by the looks of things, just gazing my eyes on this Burnside pack, that Chris Walton's gone off this half and Kieran Sambrook's come on at hooker.
I was about to say, we haven't really seen Sambrook, had we?
No, he's been on the bench.
Oh, that one's stolen.
Right head. Andrew Brown blindside.
Andrew Brown manages to get away, and talking about evergreen. Caron.
Jack Cook level.
Jack Cook absolutely chopped down by Sambrook. A little bit of a counter ruck just to try and slow it down. It's not going to come their way. Satala goes again. Can't quite get there. It's all very slow and messy at the moment. Now they will look on that far side.
Robbie
They're getting away to Ferguson. Ferguson gives it back inside to Brown. Ball is on the ground and Meredith will snaffle it up. I tell you what, Sean Meredith, there has been a couple of moments, as that one is cleared away, there has been a couple of moments where Sean Meredith has got Burnside out of jail.
But that was a strange one, because it almost come from Brown. It's almost like he touched it down just as he saw he was going out.
But he's the first to get there.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
First to react.
I think he was just dancing with the touchline and rolled it between his legs to save it from going out, hoping a supporting player was going to turn up, and it was Sean Meredith.
Now they're looking to try and get that driving maul going.
Well, they'll have to be careful there, Burnside, rolling around and collapsing it. Still going though.
Stop it as many different ways as possible. It has gone to ground, so it's got to come out.
Yeah, don't have to roll away. It was more.
Yeah. Do you know what? I always feel like back rowers must love a collapse more because they don't have to roll away.
the only
Just
time.
the only time you can do it. I am going to stay here as long as I can.
I am going to hang on to the ball and the player, and I am going to lie here.
I'm sure Andrew Brown won't mind me saying this. He's certainly got a lot more salt and pepper in his hair than he used to do, which I think is why he's gone for the all-over razor today.
Correct.
He looks 20 years younger because of that haircut.
I'm sure he'll thank you for it.
He knows I love him.
Meanwhile, we're still all working out how old Nigel really actually is.
I have no idea. The penalty though, and they're away. Decided to go. It's sensible play. I think it's Andrew Brown again. And
Andrew
a turnover.
Brown making the tackle. Yep.
Caron. Cook is mad hard. Still comes back the other way. Gerd wants to go. Looks like it's going to be another pick and go. Murphy.
Just resetting themselves. Ball available now. One out to Andrew Brown. Supported by Satala.
Caron is there. Not many options away to the left. One is on a knee, one has hands on the knees. Inside to Butler. Good challenge by Kieran Brown again. Good offload, and Kieran Brown manages to get another one.
Penalty. You can't tackle a man when you're on the ground. Yeah.
Oh,
Butler still fighting into the 22.
Still going.
Pitter picks up and goes. Turnover.
Oh, Lamsam got it. Gonna come back. It's a horrible.
Oh, we're calling it a hand in that. Okay.
It's a weird law.
Which one?
If you're on the floor, you're out of the game.
Oh, yeah,
it's good play. I'm sorry. Make a tackle, and then make a tackle.
It's almost tougher to make a tackle from a lying down position, isn't it? You've got to. I'd probably be looking at a speed hump
more. But yeah, it is. If you're going to run over a player that's already on the ground and he tackles you, I think fair play to him.
So it looks like they're going to go for goal. Caron is going to line this one up about 26, 27 metres out. Bang in front. But we are starting to see the players. I think that's Zach Ellis again, who's been in the wars today.
Puts everything on the line, Zach, doesn't he?
Well, there's a long time to recover. Caron will set himself.
Straight over
Driven all the way through. Brighton will lead by a point as we approach 50 minutes on the Wojtek scoreboard. The restarts today, as far as Burnside are going to have been high and hanging, and they just haven't been able to get enough on it to bring it back. Brown steps Lamsam, but he gets hold of him. Caron again. Plummer to Butler.
No way through there.
Hard in midfield. Caron to Cook. To Pitter. Pitter's going to reverse his field and try and find some space. Can't get away from Kieran Brown. Hands are on from a Burnside point of view.
Off his feet now though,
yeah.
Have to release it.
So the counter rod comes from Sambrook, just trying to disrupt it. Caron again to Satala. Satala steps back inside.
Oh, drops it.
And again we'll just lose it forward. So Burnside will have a scrum.
It's always a little bit of a danger, that, isn't it, when you end up changing your direction and then going back into the most congested area of the field. It's there's always a chance that mistakes or turnovers or something like that can occur and to happen.
I think so. It was just a loose carry by Nathan, and I think it might have been a blue arm slip its way in there and just assisted out of his hand.
I think he was going for the big impact, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Nathan, and
he was looking for that fend again.
Just a little bit of a, like you said, a little bit of a loose carry.
Yep. Never helps when you're running into about 3 or 4 defenders.
One
always looking for a ball.
I wouldn't know, to be honest, Steph.
True, Dave. True, Dave. So solid scrum that time. Ball at the back.
Lots of space over on that far side. Satala does very well. Just slowed it down. Rahali just
dancing
shipped it on to Rahali again to Marshall.
Taken down by Jaden Phillips on a low tackle.
Rahali, Sambrook. Sambrook looks to run through the gap. Andrew Brown will get him. Hodgson again.
Right on the 22.
Brown. Out to Dissel. Lamsam looks inside. Has Ellis inside. Meredith. Now there's a little bit of room outside. Decides to come back in. Rahali. Again, they will just look to keep going. Jeez. Marshall introducing himself to Cook. That's a weird and horrible pass. Fraser Green's going to get Joseph Teki pretty much straight away. Lamsam has to go and play halfback and get it. Dissel.
Oh, bounces, Joe.
There you go. You may be quick, son. Can't do anything from there. Rahali has to go and tidy it up. Gives it out the back to Green. Pick and go from Hodgson.
It's a good one-off running by Burnside. Trying to keep Brighton honest around the breakdown. Everyone's having to do their work.
They're being very, very disciplined in the backline as well. They're not getting sucked in. That's what Burnside you would think are waiting for. Again, they're going slow. Lamsam again. Just happy to take nothing but Logan Brown
straight over the ball.
Which way is that going? Not releasing.
Burnside penalty.
Burnside penalty. That is a massive impact on Joseph Teki from
Jonathan Van Dissel.
Was it Van Dissel?
Yeah, I'd enjoy seeing that one again. I think Dissel.
It's one of those where it really doesn't matter what position you're in at that point, because he wasn't in a bad position, Joseph Teki. He just.
I mean, he's a vet by trade, so it's normally animals he's putting down, but he's put down. But he put down Joe quite well there.
That was a massive hit.
I think they've marched in 10
I
as
think
well
they
for voice.
Might have been something said, yep.
These are the ones that coach cannot afford. Those penalties are the ones that you just don't want.
Looks like we're starting to get a bit of movement on the Brighton bench.
Haven't seen too much in substitutions from Brighton so far, have we? So imagine they got some impact players on
it's a different idea to what Wayne Vincent does. Wayne Vincent quite happy to use 20-minute phases. I'm still a little weirded out by the fullback one 2.5 minutes before half time. I can only assume that Smith has picked up a knock or something.
Maybe. I didn't. So scrum 5 metres out, Burnside ball. All hands on the back.
Wanted to go. Might have got a bit snatchy at it. Marshall gets away from Gerd, can't get away from Brown. Again, they find themselves not far out.
Centre field.
Rahali out to Meredith. Meredith to Jet. Jet tried to stand him up on the inside.
Well covered by Robbie Ferguson.
Rahali.
Ball out again. Another direct line, well taken down by Plummer.
Rahali stands in there again. Lamsam thought about between the legs. Then we'll just straighten and run at Logan Brown, who tries to hold him up.
To Moore. I don't think that ball is not coming out of there.
The only way they can keep this is to get over the line, Burnside. And they've run into the post, which hasn't helped them. Which will turn it over. If they had been 1 foot either side of that, they'd get that ball back. That's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
It was quite a good play from Andy Brown there, actually, who's managed to... we've seen him do that a couple of times in this game. I'm actually really enjoying the battle between him and Blair Marshall at number 8 at the moment. They've both been having some really good moments within this game.
It's been a solid contest between the two of them.
There's wonderful battles all over the place. There's wonderful battles all over the park. I think Rhys Gerd has been really, really good. And do you know what? Robbie Ferguson, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, you could bump into Robbie Ferguson on the street and you would not think, A, you didn't think he played rugby, and B, you wouldn't have thought he was a winger.
No.
But my word, does he put on his best clothes when he comes out and plays.
He loves ball in hand, loves to defend, and yeah, give him half a chance and he'll run all day. So Brighton scrum 5 metres out, just to the left of the post.
Yeah, Plummer's sat in the pocket. Fairly decent sized in goals here, but it's a big kick either way.
He's got to be careful where his back foot is there.
Don't hit a post.
Big
the
scrum's
moving backward. So that's actually helped Butler out. Butler with a little in out. Then we'll find Pitter. Pitter will send it back inside to Ferguson. Ferguson against Meredith. Beats Meredith. Now they're away. Carroll. Jeff is after him. Then the ball will go out to Pitter. Pitter will finish. From the shadow of their own posts. Brighton.
The southern corner has
Push even
erupted.
further away. Demoralising for Burnside. They did all the hard work. They were on the front foot in the scrum, and in the blink of an eye, the try scored at the other end. There's a little in out from Butler there just to get them away.
For me, it was Burnside were defending the kick right from the outset. Meredith.
He did enough to slow him down, but then the support runners are too far away. And Golden Jet got him, but he was on his own.
It was a good try from Brighton, actually, and again, like you say, from the original scrum that's come from Burnside, you're sort of thinking, oh, well done, boys, you got a really, really good march on here. And then I think that, like you said, they're probably just lined up for receiving the kick. Brighton, fair play to him, just
Read it and went.
Yeah, read it, went, and if I can coin a phrase from our good friend of the show, Crossy, coast to coast, taters and toast. It was, yeah, really well worked try.
And right in front of the Brighton fans as well, you can see how much they enjoyed that. So kick to come.
The corner erupted, didn't it? Hector with a massive kick from the 22, 5 metres in.
Off the posts and in. When it's going your way, it's going your way.
Certainly didn't have that one on a string. So 20 points.
8 points the difference.
To 12. Burnside with the restart at halfway. 22 minutes on the clock to go.
Oh, you're looking over his shoulder as well.
I did look over his shoulder as well.
Rahali with the high hanging kick again. This time they are underneath. Marshall will hit him as soon as he hits the floor. Plummer sits ready. And they will send it out. All dangerous one. It's tidied up though.
Costa going round the outside.
Couldn't get away, and Jep's got hands on. Is it going to come back Burnside way? Yes, it is. Tidied up by Ellis. Immelman. Van Dissel. Immelman's come into halfback. Rahali, flat ball. Marshall out to Green. Green decides to take on Butler. Butler brings him down. Immelman just has to go. Lamsam has to get hands on. He's actually very lucky that the referee was checking. For offside, and he got him. Meredith will go. Meredith trying to find the gap, can't quite get there. Throws it inside through hope more than anything else.
So Cook steadying, taking one hit up.
Just trying to get themselves inside. And
Caron
then the box hit from Caron. Over the top. Jep is underneath it, takes it. Met by Joseph Teki, but it's kept going.
Secondary tackle by
broken play now if they can find some space, and Sandbrook will put it down. Picked up by Jaden Phillips.
Jaden Phillips
looking to get away halfway. They have got over halfway. Now the space out the far side for Pitter, then Ferguson.
Ferguson leaves it behind.
Ferguson left it behind. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody lit the blue touch paper all over again.
Well, I mean, it's just all started off. It's some really, really good play, and surely Meredith has made a very decent break, taking the quick tap and go, and then it's just Brighton managed to clear their lines, and then the next thing you see, they're on the attack, and then it goes back to Burnside again, and it's just ebbing and flowing, pendulum swinging all the time, and I think Burnside now have really got to try and show their mettle and just show exactly what they've got to try and claw their way back into this game. It's not out of reach by any stretch of the imagination, and the way the game has gone as well, it could still go either way, and we've still got, thankfully for all of us, a good 20 minutes left to go yet.
So Harrison Rahali, who's played very well, has been replaced by Andrew Hamilton. There's a Burnside scrum. 8 points the difference. So
Big
two
scrum by
scores.
Brighton.
Massive scrum.
Ball squirts out the back.
Immelman has to pick it up. He's going to come back their way.
Little one-off, just to steady things.
Pick and drive again. Sideways, but still going to come back their way. Immelman, Hamilton. Question of a high one, but everyone's happy with it. Flat ball to Green. Green puts it on the boot and will pick it up. Costa does enough. It's gone backwards. It's gone into touch.
Yeah, I think that
Costa is.
as Costa was just on the floor there, wasn't he? And then he's
So it's the same as what we saw with Kira Brown. Same thing. You're on the ground. You're out of the game.
Now the ball was passed into his head. Looking back at the replay.
Looking back at the replay, Joe's lucky he didn't actually catch hold of this.
So Costa tackles.
No, he's played at it.
Yep. Can't put your hands on the ball when you're sitting on the ground.
Nah, it's a harsh lesson for the young kid to learn there, but you just can't in that situation.
So it's an interesting change that Andrew Hamilton didn't know on Thursday night whether he was playing or not. Got the call up very late. There is the call, not straight. And again, every time that Burnside get themselves into a position where they can start to apply some more pressure, small mistakes.
Yeah, just the little 1%ers that you look at that become so crucial in finals rugby.
So it is going to be a scrum, and hopefully not much deja vu for Burnside. Brighton will be hoping for deja vu. They'll want to see it happen again. So break and play for something.
Yeah, not quite sure what's going on here.
Well, everyone's looking down towards the official tent.
Yeah, and
looking for a
there's
ball.
a ball. Oh, there he goes. That's not bad. There's a bounce as well. Just put it on a postage stamp.
Oh well. We don't want that ball either.
Oh, we found one.
Yeah, they got their favourite one back now, I think.
Okay.
So it will be a Brighton scrum. About 10 metres out, so they'd only have to go 70 metres for a drive from this one.
10 metres out, 70 metres. Then at 100.
Yeah.
Close.
Short pitch here.
Short pitch? Okay, let's go with that.
Are we still waiting for another ball, or?
I don't know what's going on here.
Something going on, but
Well, the AR is talking to the ground marshal. There is a ball there.
there's a couple of balls waiting with the ball boy.
Yeah, scrum half's got a ball anyway, so he's ready to go.
Not entirely.
Everyone's ready to go.
I think we've stopped it just for the ground marshal to just have a word with some Burnside supporters.
Some rugby supporters, let's go with that.
Well, they're wearing the double blue.
One of them is.
No comment.
They
Can't-
may not
you
be.
can't tell them all.
They may not be agreeing with Mr. Jackson's decisions.
So solid scrum there.
Now they are
Butler
away.
in
Butler
the
again.
midfield crash again.
Hamilton. And then the box kick from Caron. Meredith.
Brighton would have to take the 3 points here just to
Yeah, you would think so.
just to poke it out that extra. Make it 11
I mean,
points.
it's 2 scores at the moment.
11 points is more comfortable than 8, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Timekeeper down there's running out of watches and clocks. Might be an interesting talking point, but just after this kick, Caron will want to push them 11 points in front.
Flags go up.
Which he does. So an interesting one with the Costa penalty down here. He's the last man. If he doesn't do that, and a Burnside player runs onto it, could it have been a penalty try?
There was other players behind him. It was a tackle. There was supporting.
I'd have to see it again, but
there was a tackle. I reckon there was supporting players.
But do you know what I mean? Can it be a penalty try from 30 metres out?
One would have thought could have been, couldn't it?
I don't know. We'd have to have a look at it again.
Last man. So taken by Clark.
He'd take him out. Caron will look to Phillips. Phillips will take on Marshall. Sam didn't quite get there. Brown will go. Caron again to Plummer. Plummer to Butler. Back to Plummer. Plummer will send it, and the bounce is good for Pitter. Pitter gets around the outside. Can't get away from Brown.
Great tackle right on the halfway line. Ball's available again.
Skelton
winding up.
Makes a tackle. Skelton gets away. The ankle tap from Sambrook. Guards there again. Butler trying to find a way through.
Tackled on the 22.
Out the back to Plummer, to Logan Brown.
Another high tackle.
That one was okay for mine.
Line all over it. It's got to get out of there, the blue players.
Lamsam's stolen it. Burnside. Immelman. Ellis. Green. Green is going to try and run around the outside of Joe. He decides to run over the top of Joe, then puts it on the inside. It's a full race. Meredith will get there! Burnside fight back.
Oh, what a try for Burnside that was. I mean, amazingly well. It was so superbly well done, and it's a great, it's Fraser Green for me, I think, continuing his performance from the first half, because he's had one of the best games defensively and offensively that I've seen him play in a long, long time. And it's a neat little kick inside. We saw it, a similar thing with Troy Doughty's try a couple of weeks ago for Onkers against South. It's just a nice kick inside for the oncoming rush player who's coming in, and Sean Meredith has finished that off absolutely wonderfully.
So that'll take it to 4 points the difference if the kick is good.
One would think from that position, Sean Meredith won't miss this.
You're dying to put a commentator's curse on this, aren't you?
100% nailed on, never going to miss.
Oh, you can never say that.
And the flags go up, so we are 4 points the difference.
No curses from me today. That was
minutes plus red time to go.
Great bit of support play. 10 minutes been signalled before.
So Satala will restart them.
Come about from a sloppy tackle by Joe, going too high.
Marshall.
And the chant's gone up in the crowd.
Sambrook.
Round the ankles by
Does
Plummer.
manage to offload to Ellis. Immelman. Hamilton. Bolcom. Meredith. Oh, he had a couple of goes at it. Did enough. Immelman again. Brown puts his head down and runs again. Not releasing from Gerd. He said not before, that was before, he said it twice. Dave Gunning's going to march them down.
Well, that's a good 15 metres there by the ref.
I'm happy with that.
That's closer to 20 metres.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
It must have been really bad. So Hamilton puts it in touch just outside the 22.
And once again, this game just swings in another direction, doesn't it? I mean, Brighton's still with the lead, but you've got to say that ascendancy feels like it's with Burnside at the moment.
Brighton back up to 15 players now,
Yeah,
though.
so that's Costa back, and we have ticked under 10 minutes to go. More changes for Burnside. They come down. Sacked straight away by Brighton. Immelman will go in and take control. Hamilton. Flat ball to the centre, and now they're away. Again, they're going to get within 5. Immelman. Sambrook tries to roll around.
Hit and spin in the tackle within the 5 metres now.
There is a Brighton player in the way. It's Atala. They do get him out the way. Ellis.
They've got options out on the left as well, Burnside.
Lamsam. Lamsam looking for room. Can't get any. Immelman. It's out here. Green! That one's okay. And Green pushes Burnside in front.
Good build up by Burnside, just straight hands, beat the man.
And the thing is, in these areas as well, within the 5 metre line, and when Brighton and opposition players are putting all bodies on the line and trying to close off and keep everything, and just hold it all in tighter. There's some really, really good clear outs there from Burnside just to make sure that ball's quick and snappy. And that's a really, really good finish there from Fraser. He's having just a fantastic game today.
So they will go in front by a point. One of my biggest criticisms of Burnside last year was they played 12 minutes with 2 extra players and couldn't make it count. They have scored a try, a player down. It's a massive difference to where they were last year.
I think just the build up for that try it just goes to show that the passion and determination that they have for this final today. They've turned up to win a grand final. They're fighting for the full 80 minutes.
So we are 1 point in it. There is 7.5 minutes to go. Hanging kick again. That time it goes backwards. It is in Burnside hands. Immelman under all sorts of pressure.
Yeah, just kicks
tied it up.
He just lost it in the sun.
Logan Brown goes in and steals it. Plummer, Butler tries to step inside. Counter up. Burnside didn't work. Brown, Pitter, looks for a gap inside, finds a gap inside. Tackle knocks the ball away. Meredith puts the ball on the boot. Bounces away into touch. Brighton line out. Ladies, I can hardly hear. This is so loud.
When you're standing at the top of a big tin shed with a raucous crowd.
Brown will steal one. Zach Ellis just puts his head down and goes. The counter up was great from Brighton and they deserved it.
Cannot pick it up in an offside position. So
a Brighton penalty.
Satala will look for the centre to the sideline, kicks it straight into the Burnside. The bowels of Burnside, let's call it, down there. So line out, Brighton ball, midway, 10 metre 22.
We're going to go back to Golden Jet. They want him back on just yet, and now they are going to get him on before the lineup. Burnside leading by 1 point. Golden Jet looks ready to play as he comes back on.
I think he's probably boosted about another 10% by that vociferous Burnside crowd, which is worth a couple of tries in itself at the moment, isn't it?
And again, Kieran Brown will make a mess of it. Jaden Phillips manages to tidy it up though.
Good impact in the line-out, hasn't he, Kieran Brown today?
At the back for Caron. Good. Logan Brown. Andrew Brown manages to find a gap.
Skelton, pick and go.
The big boys are trying to get.
And that's a high tackle around his head.
It's stolen again. Burnside ball.
Turnover to Burnside. He'll look to exit.
Marshall looks to settle. Jeez, that's a Interesting looking entry again.
Wasn't it?
Balcom, he will put the ball on the boot. It's going to come short. It's bounced, and the bounce beats everybody.
As Brighton fellas are just putting bodies into absolutely everything they can, aren't they, at the moment, to try and force turnovers, mistakes, whatever scraps they can to be able to call themselves back into the game.
2 minutes and change, then red time. Over the back, again it's Messi. Caron just sends it on. Butler can't get away. Marshall stolen it. Immelman, Ellis. Immelman again. Tries to step back inside, beats one, beats two. Cook finally gets him. Balcom. He will get bundled into touch. It will be a Brighton line-out. They go quickly, it's stolen again. Turned over. Hamilton. Straightens. Plummer got it. No.
Greg Black got off his feet.
Black. Didn't quite beat the clean out.
I think they're just about line up here for a kick, wouldn't they?
30 seconds plus red time to go. Hamilton.
So substitution
Knocks it
coming
away.
on.
So Brighton look to make a change. 30 seconds and we are in red time. Chad Bowker will make his way on. Reese Gerd, who's put in a shift and a half today.
He's had a very good game, Reese Gerd.
We'll watch the rest of this one from the sideline. Marshall, down they come. Driving Moore gets going. Goes to ground. Immelman, Hamilton, short ball. Over the 22 they go.
Arms out.
Immelman, out to Brown, to Sambrook. Sambrook couldn't get his hands free. We'll just go again. We have ticked over into red time. Lamsam. Again, they just want to keep hold of this ball. Logan Brown's got hands on, can't quite get there. Balcom. Balcom shakes away from the first one. Perilously close to the touchline. Immelman again to Sambrook. He just puts his head down and goes. Marshall brings it back into safety. Penalty for offside.
You'd have to take a shot there, wouldn't you?
You have to take the shot.
Got to take the shot. Got to take the shot.
Shots called.
Meredith.
So we're at the mercy of the referee.
He has a big smile on his face. I wonder whether he's been told something. We are in red time. The penalty would only take it to 4 points. And then we are smack bang into Burnside restart territory from a couple of years ago. Brighton have to go. Whatever happens with this, they have to go.
And he's hooked it.
Kick is missed. And that will be that. 2019 is the year that Burnside finally break their hoodoo. 2 years running, they didn't quite get over the line. 2019 they do. That's what it means to this Burnside crowd.
What a game, 1 point.
1 point the difference. We knew it would be big. We knew it would be good. We didn't think it was ever going to be that. First and foremost, Steph, 2019 for Brighton has been an absolutely outstanding year.
It's
if
been
you're going to
massive.
fall short, that's
like you said, it doesn't get any closer than 1 point, does it? Can't be a draw. And Burnside just toiled for 80 minutes, made Brighton be honest the entire time, and took the points when they were available. Fantastic effort by Burnside. Super strong game by Brighton. They fought for 80 minutes. The double blues are going to be celebrating long and hard up there on Green Hill Road tonight, I bet.
I'll let you get the last word in, Tom.
Anything.
I'll let you get the last word in. You just need a second. I'm going to let you go actually in a minute so you can go.
Before you run off,
yeah, I'm going to let you go in a minute. But for me, if I had anything, Shawnee Meredith for me, man of the match. Absolutely outstanding all day. Defensively, absolutely outstanding. Go and whisper it in Pete Gordon's ear or something for me. Tom, have a very quick word and then I'll let you go.
Mate, I'm just so chuffed for the boys because they've just put in such a big shift this year, and 2 years of absolute heartache, and this just means an awful lot, and 20 years in the making this has been as well, and so many opportunities within finals that that Burnside have missed out on, and I'm so chuffed. I'm really chuffed, and I can't wait to get out there to celebrate. This is just, look, commiseration, Steph, but hey, this means an awful lot. We've been waiting this for a long bloody time, mate, a long time.
So Cooper's Premier Grade for 2019 has drawn to a close. My name, as always, has been Dave Webb. I was joined today in commentary by Tom Hankey and Steph Redmond. A massive thank you, as usual, goes to all of the Spacequake sports crew, the camera operators from all around. A massive tip of the hat to my friend and my mentor, David Muggleton, sat away to my right. Ladies and gentlemen, 2019 is done. Stick a fork in it. We'll see you again in March.